Before studying this module, we should be familiar with the concepts of motivation and the content theories of motivation.
Motivation is an action world that manipulates every aspect of our daily lives, whether athletics, academics, business industry, entertainment, or any other venture. Management tries to utilize all the resources of production in the best possible manner, and this can be only achieved when employees are cooperative. Therefore, efforts should be made to motivate employees so that they can cooperate their maximum. The motivated employees are an asset to the organization. Therefore, in every organization, motivation plays a very important role in accomplishment of the goals effectively. Let us now learn some of the prominent definitions given by the eminent personalities. As said by Edwin B. Flippo, motivation is the process of attempting to influence others to do your will through the possibility of gain or reward. According to Skinner, motivation refers to the way in which urges, drives, desires, ambitions, and strivings or need direct, control, or explain the behavior of the human being. Taylor defines motivation as a psychological and sociological factors that make people to do their job better.
After studying this module, we shall be able to identify the concept of process theory of motivation, appreciate the need for modern theories of motivation, learn about different process theories of motivation, and understand about the importance of these theories, and also to differentiate between the content and the process theories of motivation.
The notion of motivation has evolved over the period of time. Whether in earlier days people used to be internally motivated and worked with full commitment, now in the present time they need some external incentives to feel motivated. These changes have given rise to the advent of number of motivation theories. They are primarily divided into content theories and the process theories of motivation.
In this module, we shall be concentrating on only the process theories of motivation. Process theories study and explain the motivation from individuals' thought process perspective. They attempt to identify the key variables and their interrelationship that explains the direction, degree, and persistence of individual efforts. The chief variables involved in the process are drives, incentives, expectancy, and reinforcement. It discovers why and how people feel motivated by selecting one action over the other. They elucidate and illustrate how individuals initiate, continue, and direct their behavior for reducing their inner tension and satisfying needs.
The major thrust in motivation theories was the development of the process models. The process theories and their models explain the dynamic process as opposed to the static snapshots of the content theories on how people make choices under certain types of process or situations in an effort to obtain the desired rewards. The most influential theory were developed by Victor Vroom, Lime Potter, Edward Laurel, Edward Locke, and the Robert House. Vroom proposed his preference expectancy theory in 1964. The Vroom work formed the basis of one of the better known as process theories, the Potter and Lawler model, which is one of the most widest accepted process models of motivation available today. Porter and Lawler extended Vroom's work by examining most closely the traits and the perception of individuals and the nature and impact of rewards on motivation. The Porter and the Lawler model is a process model that explains the conditions and the processes, that is contingencies, by which motivation to work takes place. A contingency model defines the variables of a process, the interactions between those variables, and the dynamic conditions under which those work.
The main theories that have studied motivation from the perspective of process are low needs goal theory, Vroom's expectancy theory, Adams' equity theory, the Porter-Lawler model. Let us now study them in detail. Vroom's expectancy theory. Victor H. Vroom gave the expectancy theory in 1964 as a systematic explanation theory of workplace motivation. According to expectancy theory, individuals' behavior is determined by the assessment of rewards against the efforts. It has three variables, namely expectancy, instrumentality, and valency, where expectancy refers to the belief that working hard will lead to desired level of performance. Instrumentality refers to the belief that successful performance will be followed by rewards, and valency refers to the value assigned to rewards by a person. Vroom gave a formula to calculate motivation according to which motivation is the end product of expectancy, instrumentality, and valency, etc. Motivation is equal to expectancy into instrumentality into valency, where an individual can achieve valued rewards by performing as per the expectations by putting appropriate efforts. According to expectancy theory, the overall evaluation process is divided into series of questions like, can I perform efficiently if I put the sincere efforts? What all rewards will I be able to get by performing these tasks? Can I expect that desired results will be rewarding and significant to me? And while evaluating and find answers to these questions, the person continuously exert efforts to achieve task performance and realize work related outcomes.
The Vroom expectancy theory. It assumes that the behavior results from the conscious choices among the alternatives whose purpose is to maximize the pleasure and to minimize the pain. Vroom realized that an individual performance is based on individual factors such as personality, skill, knowledge, experience, and abilities. He stated that the effort, performance, and motivation are linked in a person's motivation. He uses the variables expectancy, instrumentality, and the valence to account for this expectancy. Expectancy is the belief that increase the effort will lead to increased performance. That is, if I work harder, then it will be better. This is affected by such things as having the right resources available, for example, raw material time, having the right skills to do the job, and having the necessary support to get the job done. For example, superior support, or correct information on the job. Instrumentality is a belief that if you perform well, that a valued outcome will be received. The degree to which a first level of outcome will lead to the second level of outcome, that is, if I do a good job, there is something in it for me. This is affected by the expectancy model looks at how likely it is that the performance and outcome will occur. An individual makes voluntary choices about 1. Whether the job can be accomplished, 2. Whether the outcome will occur as a result of performing, 3. Whether the outcome will be desirable. Although there have been many studies testing this model, the type and makeup of the studies raise the issue of whether the results can be generalized. As a result, there are major problems in the application of the theory. Also, the complexity of the model makes it difficult to understand. Nonetheless, it is a theory that is commonly used in compensation fields and is therefore relevant to the discussion of the incentive programs.
Now let us move on to the next theory, Locke's needs goal theory. Edwin Locke propounded the need goal theory in 1968, which puts forward that setting of challenging but attainable goals along with strong feedback mechanism tends to enhance the motivation and leads to better performance. According to this theory, the main source of motivation is the intention to work towards a goal, as these goals tell an employee what all things they are required to do to accomplish them. As per this theory, employees are likely to work effectively towards the goal when they are involved in goal setting process, and also when they are get timely feedback on their progress. However, besides feedback, there are few other factors which influence the goal performance relationship, like employees' commitment to the goals, employees' belief in their capability, and the nature of work involved in achievement of those goals.
The goal setting theory argues that the goal and incentives are cognitive and willful, and that they serve as a mediator of human actions, and that our needs and our goals are mediated by our values, which determine what is beneficial for us. The two most important findings of this theory are that setting specific goals, for example, I want to earn 50,000 more a month, generates higher level of performance than setting the general goals. For example, I want to earn more, and that the goals that are hard to achieve are linearly and positively connected to the performance. The harder the goal, the more a person will to work to receive it. The harder the goal, the more a person will work to reach it. However, such influences on the performance are mediated by two conditions: feedback and that the person in question accepts the goal. A goal is described as reaching a general certain level of efficiency in a certain area, usually under a time limit. Goals have two characteristics: the goal's content and the goal's intensity. The content refers to what we actually want to achieve. For example, I want to earn 50,000 more a month. The intensity refers to the amount of physical and the mental resources needed to create and achieve the content. The original model proposed by the Locke consisted of 5 steps: environmental stimuli, cognition evaluation, intentions, goal setting, and performance.
Generally, it is believed higher the goal difficulty level, more enhanced is the level of performance expected. Motivation instigates with a need felt by an individual. This need is then converted into the behavior aimed at supporting the performance of goal behavior to satisfy that need. However, the goal should be fixed at highest level, but certain room for honest mistakes should be allowed to employees, as they strive to work towards these goals. The two major findings of the theory are: one should set specific goals, and difficult goals are better achieved. Next is Adam equity theory. Equity theory was set forth by John Stacey Adam in 1963. It proposes that if the employees feel that rewards received are fair, equitable, and just in comparison to those received by others, then they feel content and satisfied. As per this theory, employees look for retaining equity between the efforts that they put in job and results that they get from them, in alignment with the perceived efforts and result of others. However, if a considerable difference is noted in this regard, then employees try to bring equity by amending their own performances, making minor adjustments in co-workers level. Equity theory motivation as an employee supposed equality of a service condition and concludes that changes in employee behavior are primarily because of these supposed inequalities. They draw comparison between the state of equity and inequity. In equity, they are motivated to continue in current situation, and in inequity, they are motivated to alter the jobs, put varying rewards, quitting, modifying assessment cutoffs, and restoring to legal actions, etc.
Equity theory is based on the assumption that employees compare their efforts and rewards with those of others in the similar work situations. This theory hypothesizes that individuals are motivated by a desire to be treated equally at work. Equity theory can be viewed as comparing the efforts extended and the resulting rewards of one person to the effort expended and resulting rewards of a referenced person. If these are viewed as equal or appropriate, then the first person feels the treatment is fair and is motivated.
As already mentioned, the employees like to be in the state of equity, and for this, they may opt for a number of steps like altering job inputs, varying rewards, quit that situation, restore to legal actions, and expressively misrepresenting the contrast. Let us now move on to the last process theory of motivation, that is, the Porter Lawler model. This theory was propounded by Lyman W. Porter and Edward E. Lawler in 1968, based on room expectancy theory, and is considered to be the most comprehensive theory of workplace motivation so far. It is extended and expanded version of room expectancy theory, as it explains motivation is an integrated manner taking into account additional aspects, intrinsic and extrinsic rewards. Though this theory recognizes the fact that human behavior is the outcome of the felt need and the perceived value of rewards, determine the efforts directed to complete a task and the likelihood of these rewards getting materialized. It also highlights the significance of above mentioned two types of rewards that employee might expect to earn upon achieving a goal. This is the famous Porter-Lawler model. It suggests that all individuals rationally acting in the process make conscious selection of their behavior and have unique level of drive and efforts. The model illustrates that the level of efforts are related directly to a performance at work, which consequently is proportional to the level of awards received. The real performance on a job is a cumulative result of individual's ability, his willingness, and his perception of a job and the amount of the efforts he puts. In other words, performance is the key factor leading to intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, which is his conjunction with the equity results of satisfaction. That's why the fairness of rewards makes it more satisfying. In spite of being the notion of motivation so difficult to explain, this model clearly makes it comprehensible to all.
This theory was propounded by Lyman W. Porter and Edward Lawler in 1968 based on room expectancy theory and is considered the most comprehensive theory of workplace motivation so far. It is extended and expanded version of room expectancy theory as it explains the motivation is an integrated manner taking into account additional aspects, that is intrinsic and extrinsic rewards. Though this theory recognizes the fact that the human behavior is the outcome of felt need and the perceived value of rewards determine the efforts directed to complete a task and the likelihood of these rewards getting materialized. It also highlights the significance of above mentioned two types of rewards that employee might expect to earn upon achieving a goal. Intrinsic reward, these refer to the positive feelings arising within the employees and experienced by them from completing the task, like self-fulfillment or the feeling of self-accomplishment or the sense of achievement. Extrinsic rewards, these refer to rewards originating from outside the person, like pay hike, bonus, commission, etc. The Porter-Lawler by means of model suggested that all the individuals rationally acting in the process make conscious selection of their behavior and have a very unique level of drive and efforts. This model precisely illustrated that the level of efforts are related directly to the performance at work, which consequently is proportional to the level of awards received. The real performance on a job is a cumulative result of individual's ability, his willingness, and his perception of a job, and also by the amount of efforts he puts. In other words, performance is the key factor leading to intrinsic and extrinsic rewards. which in conjunction with the equity of results in satisfaction. That's why fairness of reward makes it more satisfying. However, the major practical limitation are intricacy of the model and the requirement to give valuable rewards to all the employees. But still, by far it is the best model of workforce motivation. In spite of being the notion of motivation so difficult to explain, this model beautifully and clearly makes it comprehensible to all. Implications of the process theories include the establishing goals to direct behavior is an important part of motivational program, and motivational programs should be perceived as equitable and deliver desirable outcomes the individual has an expectation of achieving. Since these theories have received most of the attention from the researchers and have the most supporting data, they offer the strongest foundation for the motivation and performance improvement industry, particularly the reinforcement and goal setting theories. No discussion of motivation would be complete without addressing the special issue of intrinsic and extrinsic rewards. The starting point is to define these terms. Intrinsic rewards that a part of the job itself, that is the responsibility, challenge and the feedback, or rewards that are self-administered. Extrinsic rewards that are external to the job, for example, pay, promotion, fringe benefits, or tangible awards, or the awards that are administered by someone else.
Firstly, while the focus of content theories is on the factors within the individual that leads to motivation, the focus of process theories is on dynamics of motivation and how the process of motivation takes place. The content theories explain individual needs and the process theories explain the thought process behind an individual behavior. Moreover, content theories answer why people are motivated in different ways and in different situations, and what factors motivate them, while process theories answer how people initiate, direct, and explain their motivation. Lastly, the content theories identify the type of needs, prioritize them, and find incentives that lead to fulfillment of those needs, whereas process theories identify the variables that go into motivation process and the relation between them.
Let us now summarize what we have learnt in this module. We process theories giving explanation of the concept of motivation from individuals' thought process perspective. They make an attempt to explain the notion of motivation as an indication of our cognitive and rational thinking process. Victor H. Room gave the expectancy theory in 1964 is a systematic explanatory theory of workplace motivation. Edwin Locke propounded the need-goal theory in 1968. Equity theory was set forth by John Stacey Adam in 1963. Further, we have also learned about the major differences between the content theories and process theories of motivation.